So, I've talked a lot about how feminism is extremely damaging and dangerous. You can check out this video on my channel right here called Truth About Feminism and Male Oppression. Extremely important video where I talk about and prove that men are more oppressed than women are in the first world. There's no doubt about that. It's been proven. That's what all the evidence shows, you know? And feminism is just fucking worthless in modern day and all that shit. But I want to talk about how the actual term is worthless. Now, the only oppression that women actually face in the first world that's worse than men, I would say, is social oppression. Things like beauty expectations, or how women are raped more than men are. Although, I don't even want to pay attention to the fact that women are raped more until we at least acknowledge that men can be raped and men stop being laughed at would be nice. But regardless, those are some true things that women actually face that's worse than men. However, we need to look at the actual word itself, okay? The word and the definition. The definition from the dictionary is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes. Now, here's why this is damaging. There are many people who actually believe in true equality and even men's rights, but they call themselves feminists. Now, here is when the feminist definition and feminism as a whole made sense. Back in the 70s and 60s, whatever, when women actually were more oppressed than men, you would fight for feminism because feminism is the act of fighting for women. Feminism comes from the word feminine, aka female. You cannot fight for both genders if you're fighting for feminism. Okay? MRA, or Men's Rights Advocate, fights for men, hence Men's Rights Advocate. And if you fight for both genders, you're referred to as an egalitarian, which is what I am. Obviously, I'm more egalitarian to MRA because men have less rights in the first world, so you fight for them and, of course, equality as a whole, aka egalitarian. But here's the problem here. You only fight for the one that has less rights. Back in the 70s, 60s, and of course before that, it was women. So you'd fight for feminism to bring women up to men. But in modern day, men are beneath. So you fight for MRA to bring men up to where women are. And then when we're both equal, you fight for egalitarian to keep us equal. That's why the term is dumb, because in modern day, women have more rights. So why would you continue calling yourself a feminist? People think, no, feminism just means equality. No, it doesn't. It means equality if women have less rights. Then it means equality. But you can't fight for equality when you already fucking have more rights. Does that make any sense? How can you give one gender equality when that gender has more rights? You have to fight for whoever has less. And in today's modern world, it's men. And feminism is not about equality. It's about women's rights. And you only fight for that when women are beneath men. But in modern day, they're not. Is it getting through yet? So here's why it's damaging. When people who truly believe in equality of both genders, they say, well, I'm a feminist. But then a person will look at a dictionary and say, oh, feminists believe in the advocacy of women's rights. It says it right there in the dictionary, by the way. See? The advocacy of women's rights. And they go, yes, let's fight for feminism. Let's fight for women. No. What are you talking about? You're supposed to be fighting for both. That's why the definition is so damaging, because it manipulates people's mind into thinking feminism, female, let's fight for women to gain equality. And then you end up being counterproductive because you're fighting for the wrong gender because women are currently above men. That's why the actual term you should be using if you are A, smart, B, believe in equality of both genders, and C, acknowledge that currently in the first world, men face more oppression. When you acknowledge those three things as a result of having a brain, you would then be calling yourself either an MRA or an egalitarian. Feminism is only required if women have less rights. MRA is only required if men have less rights. And if you're fighting for both, you're an egalitarian. Use the right terminology because you're actually causing damage if you don't, even if you don't think you are.